Three unmarked Escalades glide through the moonlit streets of Pine Valley, California. The target, Sarah Martinez, a 10-year-old girl whose father holds the key to dismantling the West Coast's largest drug trafficking operation. The plan, use the daughter to force Detective Martinez to destroy crucial evidence. The mistake, not realizing that the German Shepherd they dismissed as a family pet is actually Titan, an elite K-9 unit veteran with over 200 successful operations, 43 takedowns, and a legendary reputation within California's Special Operations Division. They thought they were dealing with a retired police dog. They were wrong. By sunrise, 6 cartel enforcers will be in custody, an international trafficking ring will begin to crumble, and the largest joint DEA police operation in California history will be set in motion. All because the Castillo cartel made one critical error in judgment. They saw Titan as just another German shepherd living out his retirement. But some guardians never rest, some protectors never retire, and some bonds go deeper than blood, especially when forged between a grieving girl and a K-9 who made a silent promise to his fallen partner that no harm would ever come to his daughter. DEA, October wind whispers through Pine Valley's tree-lined streets, rustling fallen leaves across the Martinez family's modest ranch house on Cedar Lane. Inside, Sarah Martinez stands at her bedroom window, watching Titan perform his morning security sweep. The massive German Shepherd moves with fluid precision, each step calculated, each pause deliberate. Even after 18 months of retirement, his training shows in every movement. "He's doing it again, isn't he?" Maria Ramirez's voice carries from the doorway, warm with understanding. Sarah's aunt joins her at the window, coffee mug steaming in her hands. Sarah nods, following Titan's methodical path around their property. 3 complete circuits, always counterclockwise, checking each corner twice, just like Dad taught him. Maria's hand finds Sarah's shoulder, squeezing gently. "Your father knew exactly what he was doing when he arranged for Titan to come live with us." The morning ritual continues below as Titan completes his patrol. To anyone else, he might look like an ordinary family pet, albeit an unusually disciplined one. But Sarah knows better. She's seen the scars beneath his thick fur, watched him snap to attention at certain sounds, noticed how he positions himself to keep all entry points in view. "Time for breakfast," Maria announces, her voice carrying forced cheerfulness. "You've got that science presentation today." In the kitchen, Titan takes his usual position near the back door, alert eyes scanning between windows while Sarah eats her cereal. 18 months of civilian life haven't dulled his training. If anything, they've sharpened his protective instincts. "Remember when he first came to live with us?" Sarah asks, pushing her empty bowl away. Her aunt pauses while loading the dishwasher, memories clouding her features. "He wouldn't even sleep unless he could see both the front and back doors." "Those first few months were tough on everyone," Maria acknowledges softly. "Losing your father, Titan losing his partner, but you two helped each other heal." The memory surfaces unbidden. That rainy morning when Captain Torres and Lieutenant Rodriguez stood at their door. The news about Detective Miguel Martinez's final undercover operation. The folded flag. The letter explaining his last request. For his K-9 partner to watch over his family. Titan had arrived a week later, still recovering from the warehouse raid that had claimed Miguel's life. The dog's right shoulder carried fresh stitches, and his eyes held the same haunted look Sarah saw in the mirror. The bond between them had formed almost instantly. 2 souls who understood each other's loss. A car door slams outside, pulling. Sarah back to the present. Titan's ears prick forward, his posture shifting subtly. Through the window they spot an unfamiliar black Escalade cruising past, the 4th this week. "Probably just new neighbors," Maria says, but her tone carries an edge of concern that makes her words sound hollow. Sarah grabs her backpack, and Titan moves to his pre-departure position by the front door. This, too, is part of their routine. He'll watch her walk to the bus stop, then resume his guard duties at home. "Love you, Tia Maria," Sarah calls, out heading for the door. "Love you too, mi amor. Remember Mrs. Chen is picking you up after school today. I've got that meeting at the hospital." Outside, the morning sun has burned away the last traces of dawn. Sarah walks down their curved driveway, Titan watching attentively from the porch. Neither of them notices the dark Escalade parked 3 blocks away, or the man inside speaking quietly into a satellite phone. Target's leaving for school now. The dog stays with the house during the day. Everything's proceeding according to plan. In the kitchen, Maria Ramirez pulls an old photo from her pocket, her brother Miguel in his detective uniform, kneeling beside a younger Titan in tactical gear. Their last photo together, taken just before the undercover operation that would change everything. "Watch over her, old friend," she whispers, noting another unfamiliar vehicle rolling past their house. Her hand drifts to the locked drawer where she keeps her brother's backup service weapon. 15 years as an ER nurse taught her to trust her instincts, and right now, those instincts are screaming that trouble is coming. Titan's low growl from the porch confirms her fears. In the distance, Sarah's yellow school bus disappears around a corner, while in the shadows of Pine Valley's quiet streets, dangerous men begin moving their pieces into position. The morning sun climbs higher, casting long shadows across the neighborhood, shadows that hide secrets, threats, and the first moves of a game that will explode into violence before sunset. The K9 veteran on the porch maintains his watch, unaware that his next operation is about to begin. But deep in his warrior's heart, where training meets instinct, Titan remains ready. Ready to protect, ready to serve, ready to prove that some guardians never truly retire. They just find new battles to fight and new people to protect. The black Escalade idles behind an abandoned strip mall 2 miles from the Martinez home. Inside, Victor Castillo studies high-resolution surveillance photos on his tablet, while 4 men gear up around him. His cold eyes scan the property layout as he speaks into an encrypted satellite phone. "The evidence has to be in that house somewhere," Castillo says, his cultured voice carrying none of the tension visible in his white-knuckled grip on the device. Martinez wouldn't have died protecting nothing. Alejandro Reyes, former Mexican Special Forces turned cartel enforcer, checks his weapon beside him. What about the dog? Police canines can be unpredictable. It's been 18 months since it served. Castillo dismisses the concern with a wave. Now it's just a pet. Focus on the aunt. She's the key. At Pine Valley Middle School, Sarah sits in her science class, but her attention keeps drifting to the window. Something feels wrong today. During morning recess, she'd spotted 2 men watching the playground from a parked sedan. When Mr. Thompson had asked them to leave, they'd smiled too widely and driven away too slowly. "Sarah? Sarah Martinez?" Mrs. Anderson's voice breaks through her thoughts. "The water cycle diagram?" "Sorry, Mrs. Anderson, could you repeat the question?" Back at the Martinez home, Titan's behavior has changed. The German Shepherd moves from window to window, his movements sharp and focused. Police training kicks in as he catalogues unusual patterns. 4 unknown vehicles making repeated passes, the subtle shift of shadows behind the eucalyptus trees, the faint scent of gun oil carried on the breeze. Maria Ramirez notices too. 20 years as an ER nurse taught her to read warning signs. She makes a call to Lieutenant James Cooper, her brother's former partner. "James, something's not right today." "Any specific concerns?" "Unfamiliar vehicles, men watching the house. Could be nothing, but..." She pauses, remembering her brother's words. "Miguel always said to trust our instincts." "I'll run some checks," Cooper promises. "The cartel's been unusually active lately. Recent intel suggests they're searching for something." In his office at the Pine Valley Police Department, Cooper pulls up Miguel Martinez's last case files. His eyes narrow at a flagged notice. Increased cartel activity near local schools. Recent intelligence suggests preparation for leverage operations. Rosa, Jen, watching from her kitchen window next door, spots two men in utility uniforms approaching her house. Something about their walk sets off warning bells. These aren't real service workers. "Sorry, boys," she calls through the door. "I'm calling the company to verify first." They leave too quickly, their frustration visible. Rosa's hand shakes, slightly as she dials Maria's number. "Maria, those men who just left, they were carrying weapons under their jackets. I saw them when the wind caught their shirts." Titan's growl draws Maria to the living room window. A service van parks across the street, but the dog's reaction tells her everything she needs to know. Her brother had trained Titan to recognize threats, and right now, every line of the dog's body screams danger. At the strip mall, Castillo receives confirmation. The aunts made a call to law enforcement, targets former partner. "We move now," Reyes interjects. "Broad daylight is exactly why they won't expect it," Castillo agrees. "Get the girl at school pickup. Once we have her, the aunt will cooperate." Sarah, unaware of the closing net, raises her hand in class. "Mrs. Anderson, may I use the restroom?" In the hallway, she spots another unfamiliar man speaking to the front office staff. His smile doesn't reach his eyes, and his suit fits too well for a substitute teacher. More concerning is the earpiece he's trying to hide. At home, Maria makes a decision. She opens the locked drawer, removing Miguel's backup weapon and a sealed envelope he'd left with specific instructions, open only if they come for the evidence. Titan suddenly goes still, his attention locked on the back door. His training recognizes the sound, multiple boots on gravel trying to move quietly. In his office, Lieutenant Cooper's computer pings. The plates from the suspicious vehicles match. Known cartel affiliates. His blood runs cold as he connects the dots. Today marks 18 months since Miguel Martinez's last operation. "Get units to Pine Valley Middle School now," he barks into his radio, already running for his car. And someone warn Maria Ramirez. They're not just watching anymore. Through the sealed cameras Miguel had installed before his death, they can see them now. 8 men taking positions around the house. 2 more teams heading toward the school. The cartel isn't just making a move, they're launching a full operation. Titan's training kicks in as he processes multiple threats. His ears track movement on 3 sides of the house while his nose picks up the distinct scent of tactical gear and weapon oil. They're professionals, but so is he. Years of police operations have taught him how to read a developing situation. Maria's hands steady as she reads her brother's letter. Years of ER trauma experience keeping her focused, despite the chaos building outside. Through the security monitors, Miguel had secretly installed. She watches Titan stand guard, his training evident in every controlled movement. The afternoon sun hangs heavy over Pine Valley as all the pieces begin moving at once. At the school, Sarah feels the net tightening. At home, Titan and Maria prepare for unwelcome visitors. And across town, Victor Castillo issues the order that will turn a quiet California afternoon into a war zone. None of them realize that this is exactly what Miguel Martinez planned for. In the sealed envelope beneath Maria's trembling fingers lies not just evidence, but a carefully laid trap, 18 months in the making. The question is, will Titan's training and Maria's courage be enough to spring it? Sarah Martinez knows something is wrong the moment the fire alarm rings. It's not the standard pattern of a drill, but a continuous blare that sends students streaming into the hallways. Through the chaos, she spots the man from the front office moving against the flow of traffic headed straight for her classroom. "Everyone out!" Mrs. Anderson shepherds her students toward the exit. "Stay together." Sarah breaks from the group, remembering her father's words. "If something feels wrong, trust your instincts." She ducks into the library instead of following. The evacuation route. Through the windows, she sees black Escalades pulling up to the school's side exits. At home, Titan's ears prick up seconds before Maria hears the back gate creak. The German Shepherd moves silently to his defensive position, muscle memory from hundreds of police operations taking over. Maria clutches Miguel's sealed envelope and backup weapon, backing toward the panic room her brother had insisted on installing. "We know you're in there, Mrs. Ramirez," a cultured voice calls from outside. "We just want to talk about your brother's last case." Titan's growl deepens as footsteps approach the back door. His tactical training catalogues the threats. 4 sets of footsteps, weapons by their gait, professional by their spacing. "Mrs. Ramirez," Victor Castillo calls again. "It would be better for everyone if you cooperate, especially your niece." The mention of Sarah shifts something in Titan's stance. His police training merges with his protective instincts as the first lock clicks. Lieutenant Cooper's cruiser screams down Pine Valley streets, sirens wailing. His radio crackles with updates. Shots fired at the Martinez home, suspicious activity. At Pine Valley Middle, multiple suspects. He's still 10 minutes out. In the school library, Sarah crawls between shelves as voices approach. Her phone vibrates, a text from an unknown number. "Come out now, your aunt needs you." Her hands shake, but she remembers Titan's training sessions with her father. Stay calm, think, plan. The back door of the Martinez home splinters inward. Titan remains still, using his training to maximum effect. The first man enters, weapon raised. He never sees the shadow detaching from behind the door. 80 pounds of police-trained muscle and bone slam into his gun arm with precision force. "Contact!" the man screams as Titan's teeth find his wrist. Using the exact pressure point his trainers taught him, the weapon clatters away. Maria seizes her moment, squeezing off 2 warning shots that send the other men diving for cover. "The next ones won't miss," she shouts, her ER nurse training keeping her voice steady. Outside, Castillo responds by reading coordinates into his phone. Target 2 is moving. All units converge on the school. Get the girl. In the library, Sarah makes her decision. The library's back exit leads to the maintenance yard. If she can reach the church across the street... A hand grabs her backpack. Sarah reacts instantly, dropping to the ground just as Titan had taught her during their play sessions. The backpack slips off, and she rolls under a table. Little brat. Alejandro Reyes's frustration shows as he lunges for her. Sarah kicks out at his knee, another move practiced with Titan, and scrambles away. At the house, Titan engages the second intruder. His police training shows in every movement. Disable, don't kill, protect the civilians. The man's body armor prevents serious injury, but Titan's impact sends him crashing into a wall. The third man retreats, calling for backup. Maria uses the chaos to reach the panic room, sealing herself inside with Miguel's envelope. Through the security monitors, she watches Titan in action, finally understanding why her brother had called him the unit's best. Sarah bursts out of the school's back exit, heart pounding. The maintenance yard stretches before her, chain link, fence beyond. Behind her, boots thunder on concrete. Lieutenant Cooper arrives at the school just as Sarah reaches the fence, his cruiser screeching to a halt, providing cover as the first shots ring out. "Emily, down!" Parker draws his weapon as Reyes and his men emerge from the building. At home, Titan stands guard over 2 incapacitated intruders, blood from superficial wounds dripping from his muzzle. His ears pricked toward the distant sound of gunfire. Every instinct screams that Sarah is in danger. In the panic room, Maria makes her choice. She opens Miguel's envelope, reading the first line of his letter. "If you're reading this, they've finally figured it out." But Titan knows what to do. The afternoon sun hangs low as chaos erupts across Pine Valley. At the school, Cooper exchanges fire with Reyes's men while Sarah runs for safety. At the house, Titan awaits Maria's command, knowing his next move will change everything. And in the sealed envelope, Miguel Martinez's last orders begin to reveal a plan 18 months in the making. A plan that depends entirely on the bond between a girl and her canine partner, and a guardian's promise to protect his family at all costs. Maria's hands steady as she reads her brother's letter. Years of medical emergency experience keeping her focused despite the chaos outside. Through the panic room's monitors, she watches Titan standing guard over the incapacitated intruders, his training evident in every controlled movement. Titan, command override Sierra 5, she reads aloud. The code phrases Miguel had drilled her on suddenly making sense. The German Shepherd's ears prick forward, combat programming activating fully. Find Sarah, protect, escort to Safe House Alpha. Titan moves instantly, police efficiency in every stride as he exits through the broken door. Behind him, Maria continues reading Miguel's letter, her eyes widening at the real reason these men are here. Sarah presses herself against the church's brick wall, heart thundering. Lieutenant Cooper's voice carries across the parking lot, demanding, "The gunmen stand down." More sirens wail in the distance. "The girl's worthless to you now." Cooper shouts, trying to buy time. "We have your men at the house. It's over." Victor Castillo's laugh carries an edge of steel. "You don't even know what this is about, Lieutenant. This was never about just grabbing a hostage." Sarah peers around the corner, seeing Castillo's men taking positions around Cooper's cruiser. Their movements are too professional, too coordinated for ordinary criminals. Her father had taught her to observe details: military-grade gear, tactical formations, encrypted radios. A hand touches her shoulder. Sarah nearly screams before recognizing Father Michael, the elderly priest who runs the church's youth program. "Back door's open, Pequeña," he whispers, his gardening keys jingling softly. "The basement has a tunnel from Prohibition days. Your father showed it to me last year, said I might need to know about it someday." Across town, Titan moves like a ghost through back alleys, his training allowing him to avoid the additional vehicles now converging on the area. His mission is clear: reach Sarah, establish secure transport, escort to Safe House. The seasoned K9 had run similar protection details during his years of service, though never with stakes this personal. Castillo slams his fist against the vans. Dashboard as reports come in. "What do you mean they're not in the panic room? Where's the dog?" "Sir," one of his men responds over the radio. "Martinez's letter mentioned something about Safe House Alpha before the woman destroyed it. The dog, it responded to some kind of command code." Castillo's eyes narrow. "He planned this. Even from the grave, Miguel Martinez is still running the operation." He switches channels. "All units converge on St. Michael's Church, the tunnel system." That's how they moved the evidence. Inside the church, Father Michael guides Sarah through the dark office. "Your father mapped all the Prohibition tunnels last year," he explains, pulling aside a heavy confessional. "Said if anything happened, I should tell you about his summer in project with Titan." Sarah's mind races. Last summer, her father and Titan had disappeared for hours at a time, claiming they were doing specialized training. She'd assumed it was regular K9 maintenance drills. "The tunnels connect to 3 possible safe houses," Father Michael continues, his earlier nervousness replaced by calm efficiency. "Titan knows them all. Your father made sure of that." Detective Cooper's voice echoes through his radio as backup finally arrives. SWAT teams deploy around the school perimeter while Cooper relays the situation. Multiple armed suspects, military training, possible cartel connections. They're after something specific, something Miguel Martinez hid before his last operation. In the tunnel, Sarah freezes at a familiar sound. Titan's distinct bark pattern, one short, 2 long, their warning signal. "He's found us," she whispers, relieved tears threatening. Father Michael smiles grimly. "Right on schedule. Your father knew what he was doing, setting all this up. Titan's not just here to protect you, Sarah. He's part of the end game." Above ground, Castillo's men begin a systematic search of the area, but they're looking in the wrong places. Miguel Martinez had spent months preparing this contingency, using his police knowledge of the old bootlegging routes. Every move today was predicted, planned for, and countered in advance. Titan reaches Sarah, immediately taking point position. His tactical training shines as he leads them through the tunnel system, choosing routes that avoid the weakened sections Father Michael marks on an old map. "Your father spent weeks down here with Titan," Father Michael explains as they move, teaching him every route, every exit. "The evidence isn't just documents, Sarah. It's a whole network of information, and Titan is the key to accessing it." Castillo, reviewing the situation from his command vehicle, finally understands. "The dog," he growls. Martinez trained the dog to lead them to different evidence caches based on specific triggers. That's why he made sure it went to his family. The afternoon sun casts long shadows as multiple forces converge on Pine Valley. SWAT teams secure the school. Police establish perimeters. Castillo's men continue their search. But underground, a girl, a priest, and a K-9 move steadily towards Safe House Alpha, where the first piece of Miguel Martinez's master plan waits to be revealed. In the panic room, Maria Ramirez allows herself a small smile as she watches the security feeds. Miguel had known this day would come, had spent his last months preparing for it. Now everything depends on Titan's training, Sarah's trust, and the complex web of plans, a dying father left to protect his family and serve justice one final time. Safe House. Alpha turns out to be an abandoned ranger station on the outskirts of Pine Valley, carefully hidden behind years of strategic neglect. Titan leads Sarah and Father Michael through a concealed entrance, his movements precise and purposeful. Every few minutes he stops to listen, his police training evident in the way he clears each room before allowing them to enter. "Your father chose this place carefully," Father Michael explains, pulling aside dust-covered sheets to reveal modern surveillance equipment. "Used to be a police observation post in the 90s, off all the official records now." Sarah watches Titan move to a specific corner, pawing at the floorboards. "He wants us to look there," she says, remembering similar behavior during their training sessions last summer. "Smart girl." Father Michael nods, helping Sarah lift the loose board. Inside the hidden compartment, they find a waterproof case containing a laptop, external drives, and a sealed letter marked Phase 1. Across town, Castillo's frustration mounts as his search teams report failure after failure. "They're not using any of the obvious routes," he snaps, studying the tunnel maps. "Martinez knew we'd get these blueprints. He planned for it." "Sir," Reyes radios in, "local SWAT's setting up checkpoints. Cooper's coordinating with FBI tactical teams." He's not just coordinating, Castillo realizes, watching police movements on his tactical display. "Every time we move, he's forcing us away from something." At the police command post, Cooper connects with Maria via secure line. "Your panic room cameras caught something interesting," he says. One of Castillo's men was carrying diplomatic credentials. "This goes higher than we thought." "Miguel knew," Maria responds, her voice tight. "The letter mentioned international scope before I destroyed it." "Tom, these aren't just cartel enforcers, they're government trained." "Which government?" "That's what's on the drives, but we need all 3 caches to prove it." In Safe House Alpha, Sarah reads her father's letter while Titan maintains guard position. The German shepherd's ears constantly move, tracking sounds outside while his nose monitors for unfamiliar scents. Every instinct screams that danger is approaching. Dad says the evidence is split into 3 parts, Sarah explains to Father Michael. Each part reveals different pieces of the operation. Titan knows where each cache is, but we can only access them in the right order. Father Michael checks the surveillance feeds. "Your father was thorough. This first cache proves Castillo's organization exists. The second identifies its members. The third reveals their entire operation. Sarah realizes that's why they can't just search everywhere. They need Titan to lead them. Titan's head snaps toward the window seconds before they hear vehicles approaching. His body language shifts from alert to combat ready, muscle memory from countless operations taking over. Back entrance, Father Michael says quickly, gathering. The drives. Titan knows the route to the next position. Castillo's voice carries from outside. Buildings surrounded. We know you're in there. Sarah, make this easy on yourself. But Sarah's attention is on Titan, who's moving to a different corner. The dog paws at a shelf, revealing a hidden panel. Inside, she finds tactical gear, including a K9 vest sized perfectly for Titan. Your father cached equipment at each safe house, Father Michael explains, helping Sarah secure Titan's vest. He knew you'd need to move quickly, and Titan's trained to operate with full gear. Sarah's hands steady as she checks the vest straps, just as her father had taught her. You're not just a family pet, are you, boy? You're still on mission. Titan's intelligent eyes meet hers as she recites the command phrase from her father's letter. Titan, Phase 2, active. Lead us out. The German Shepherd moves instantly, taking point position as they slip through a concealed door moments before. Castillo's men breach the main entrance. They're gone, Reyes reports, finding only disturbed dust and lingering warmth on the surveillance equipment. But we found this. He holds up a note deliberately left behind. Castillo reads it, his face darkening. Martinez is mocking us. This was never about stopping us from finding the evidence. He's making sure we chase it, leading us exactly where he wants us to go. Why? Reyes asks. What's his play? He's building a case piece by piece. Every time we chase them, we expose more of our operation. Martinez is dead, but he's still running the investigation. Outside, police helicopters circle as Titan leads Sarah and Father Michael through maintenance tunnels beneath the old ranger station. The dog's tactical training shines as he uses every scrap of cover, every shadow, moving them safely toward their next objective. In the command post, Cooper studies the pattern of Castillo's movements. Each response, each deployment reveals more about their capabilities, information that's being recorded, documented, added to the growing body of evidence. Miguel, you brilliant bastard, he whispers, finally understanding. You're making them tell us exactly who they are. The afternoon deepens toward evening as Titan guides his charges through Pine Valley's hidden infrastructure. Behind them, Castillo's men follow a trail deliberately left for them. Above, law enforcement responds to sightings and signals, positioning themselves according to a plan laid out 18 months ago. And somewhere ahead, Safe House Bravo waits with its cache of secrets. The next piece in Miguel Martinez's intricate strategy to expose a conspiracy that killed him. A strategy that depends entirely on the training, loyalty, and courage of one extraordinary police canine. Through it all, Titan moves with practiced efficiency, his training allowing him to blend with the deepening shadows. Every few minutes, he performs quick reconnaissance before choosing their next move. His police experience shows in how he uses available cover, how he times their movements between patrols. Your father and Titan spent weeks practicing urban navigation, Father Michael whispers as they pause behind a loading dock. Every route we're taking was carefully selected and rehearsed. Sarah watches Titan's ears track movement above them. How do you know so much about all this? Because I helped design some of his training protocols, Father Michael admits. Before I entered the priesthood, I worked for state intelligence. Your father knew he needed someone with my background close by. Titan suddenly freezes, dropping into a combat stance. Seconds later, they hear the whisper of tactical gear against concrete, Castillo's men moving into position above them. They're herding us, Father Michael realizes, using standard military containment patterns, Good, Sarah says, remembering her father's letter. That's exactly what Dad wanted. In the police command center, Lieutenant Cooper tracks multiple signals converging on Pine Valley's industrial district. They're running a professional tactical containment operation, he tells Maria over the secure line. Way beyond normal, a cartel capabilities. Miguel's notes mentioned foreign military contractors. Maria responds from the panic room, reviewing security feeds. Every move they make proves his case about their real identity. Shadow leads them through a narrow passage between buildings, his training evident in how he uses available cover. Every few minutes he performs quick reconnaissance before choosing their next move. Hold, Father Michael whispers suddenly. Sarah, look at how Titan's positioning himself. Your father taught specific formations for different situations. This one means multiple threats converging, Sarah finishes. Dad showed me during our training sessions, but why is he taking us deeper into the containment zone? Castillo watches his tactical display from the command vehicle, growing increasingly frustrated. They're moving too efficiently, he growls. The dog's using military escort protocols. Martinez must have repurposed his police training. Sir, Reyes reports in. FBI tactical teams are closing in from the east. If we don't grab them soon. Martinez planned for that too, Castillo realizes. Every time we escalate, we prove we have law enforcement inside knowledge. The dog isn't just leading them to evidence, it's making us expose our capabilities. Titan guides them into an abandoned machine shop, moving directly to a specific workbench. His paw taps a sequence on the floor, 3 short, 2 long. Indeed, a pattern Sarah recognizes from their summer training sessions. Dad called this the emergency fallback protocol, she says, helping Father Michael move the workbench. Underneath, they find another hidden cache, fresh supplies, communication equipment, and building plans for Safe House Bravo. Your father mapped out every possible containment scenario, Father Michael explains quickly, distributing the supplies. Titans trained to recognize which escape route to use based on enemy deployment patterns. Above them, boots thunder on metal catwalks. Titan's ears prick toward a sound only he can hear, and his body language shifts to high alert. They're not just coming for us, Father Michael says grimly, studying the building plans. They're trying to drive us towards Safe House Bravo. They think if they control our route, they can grab us when we try to access the second cache. But Dad would have planned for that too, Sarah finishes. Titan confirms her words by leading them to what appears to be a solid wall. His nose touches specific points, another train sequence, revealing a maintenance tunnel entrance. Industrial, water system access, Father Michael explains as they slip inside. Not on any modern maps. Your father and Titan spent months mapping these grades. Castillo's frustration peaks as his teams report another lost trail. They're using infrastructure that doesn't officially exist, he snaps. Martinez didn't just train the dog for police work. He created an entire urban escape network. In the command center, Cooper begins to see the pattern. Every time Castillo's men adjust their tactics, they reveal more about their training. Each radio transmission, each deployment order builds evidence of their true capabilities. Your sons turning their own professionalism against them, he tells Maria. The more efficiently they hunt, the more they prove they're not ordinary criminals. Titan leads them through the tunnel system with unwavering confidence, his police training adapted perfectly for urban evasion. Every movement, every decision reflects countless hours of preparation with Miguel Martinez. We're not running away, Sarah realizes as they emerge in an unexpected location. Titan's leading us exactly where Dad wanted them to go. Safe House Bravo isn't just about finding evidence, it's about making them expose themselves. Your father knew they'd bring their best teams, use their most advanced tactics, Father Michael confirms. And every time they do, they prove they're not just cartel members. There's something else entirely, Sarah finishes. Titan stops at an intersection, his body language signaling imminent contact. Above ground, Castillo's men move with military precision, following what they think is a predictable escape route. None of them realize they're playing their part in a plan 18 months in the making. The sun is fully set now, casting Pine Valley's industrial district into deep shadows. But through those shadows moves a uniquely trained police K9, leading his charges not away from danger, but toward a carefully planned revelation. Safe house. Bravo waits ahead, ready to expose the next layer of a conspiracy that reaches far beyond a California border town. Through their stolen radio, they hear Castillo's growing frustration. Command, they're moving like they know our containment. Protocols, the dog, it's coordinating with law enforcement somehow. Of course it is, Father Michael whispers, watching Titan check another intersection. Your father spent months teaching him counter-surveillance techniques. Every move we make forces them to reveal more of their training. Sarah studies Titan's alert posture as he guides them through the darkness. His police instincts seem sharper than ever, each decision calculated to draw out specific responses from their pursuers. Look at their deployment pattern, Father Michael observes, monitoring their stolen radio. Those are military-grade tactical formations. No cartel uses those protocols. Above them, Castillo's men continue their pursuit, unaware that every professional move, every coordinated maneuver adds another piece to the evidence Miguel Martinez designed his K9 partner to collect. The night deepens as they approach Safe House Bravo, where the next phase of a carefully orchestrated plan waits to unfold. Safe House Bravo looms before them, an abandoned cold storage facility on the edge of Pine Valley's industrial district. Titan pauses at the perimeter, his tactical training evident as he performs a final security sweep before leading them to a hidden entrance. Your father chose this place for a reason, Father Michael whispers, helping Sarah navigate the dark corridor. These walls are 3 feet of concrete and steel. Cold storage units were built like bunkers in the 50s. Sarah watches Titan move to a specific storage unit, his nose working methodically across the door surface. Unit 247, she says, remembering her father's training sessions. He used to quiz me about random numbers, said someday they'd be important. Father Michael's eyes narrow with understanding. Combination lock. Titan's been trained to recognize the specific unit. Miguel taught him the sequence during their summer sessions. Titan confirms their words by pouring the floor in a distinct pattern. 2, 4, 7. Sarah spins the dial, muscle memory from countless practice sessions guiding her hands. Inside the unit, they find more than just evidence. Tactical gear, communications equipment, and most importantly, a laptop connected to a satellite uplink. This isn't just documentation, Father Michael says, his intelligence background evident as he scans the files. Your father uncovered an entire shadow operation. Government officials, military contractors, all working with international criminal organizations. Castillo's voice crackles through their stolen radio. All units converge on the cold storage facility, standard breach and clear procedures. They're not even trying to hide their military protocols anymore, Father Michael notes grimly. Every transmission confirms their training. Titan's ears prick toward the main entrance, his body shifting into combat stance as Sarah quickly downloads the files. Multiple teams, Father Michael translates Titan's behavior. They're using professional tactical formations. Your father's plan is working. They're so focused on catching us, they're exposing exactly who they are. In the police command center, Cooper watches the operation unfold. We've got confirmed transmissions. Using military encryption, he tells Maria. These aren't cartel soldiers. They're government-trained operatives. The second cache proves it, Maria responds from the panic room, reviewing the data Sarah's transmitting. Miguel found evidence of a secret program, military contractors hired by corrupt officials to run black operations, using cartel connections for cover. Titan suddenly growls a specific tone Sarah recognizes from training. 3 minutes, she translates. Dad taught him different warning signals. Standard breach timeline. Father Michael confirms, quickly gathering their gear. They'll hit all. Entrances simultaneously. But your father planned for this too. Sarah follows Titan to what appears to be a solid wall. The German Shepherd touches his nose to specific points, revealing a hidden maintenance shaft. The whole facility is rigged with sensor panels, Father Michael explains as they slip inside. Titan's been trained to activate them in sequence. Every time they chase us, they leave evidence of their capabilities. They're recording everything. Castillo realizes too late, watching his tactical teams deploy. Every radio transmission, every breach procedure. Martinez isn't just exposing our operation, he's proving we have military training. Sir, Reyes reports urgently, FBI is moving in. They've got our tactical frequencies. Every transmission we make is proof we're not ordinary criminals. Fall back, Castillo finishes. Switch to contingency protocols, but Titan's already leading. Sarah and Father Michael through the facility's hidden infrastructure. Each move triggers another sensor, another camera, cataloging the pursuit team's professional responses. Your father spent months preparing this, Father Michael says as they emerge in an unexpected location. Every safe house is rigged to document their pursuit. The more professionally they chase us, the more they prove your dad was right about who they really are. Sarah watches Titan coordinate with evidence collection teams, his training adapting to new requirements. He's making sure they document everything properly, isn't he? Your father trained him to understand chain of custody, Father Michael explains as Titan guides federal agents through secured areas. Every piece of evidence needs to be collected according to international protocols. Through facility feeds, they watch the operation expand. Multiple agencies discovering new layers of the conspiracy with each piece of secured evidence. Titan's training proves invaluable as he helps maintain proper documentation procedures. Miguel, Martinez's final gift to law enforcement, Cooper observes, watching the dog work. He didn't just expose corruption. He created a perfect case that will stand up in any court worldwide. Titan suddenly alerts to a new information coming through their secure feeds. The German Shepherd moves to a specific monitoring station, his training recognizing critical patterns. Look at his response, Father Michael observes. Your father taught him to identify priority intelligence. He knows Castillo's trying to reach specific coordinates. Sarah reviews her father's final, notes as updates flow in. Dad mapped every possible escape route. He knew exactly how they'd try running once exposed. Through their tactical network, they hear increasing urgency. Target vehicle approaching Sierra Vista airfield. Multiple contacts reported on ground. Possible extraction team. Titan's posture shifts as he processes the information. His police experience analyzing threat patterns. The dog moves to another monitoring station, activating specific tracking protocols. Your father programmed Titan to recognize escape signatures, Father Michael explains as new data appears. Every extraction protocol, every emergency procedure, the dog knows how to counter them. Cooper receives urgent updates. International teams confirming multiple suspects attempting simultaneous escapes. High-level conspirators worldwide trying to evade capture. But Miguel Martinez's planning extends even here. Titan coordinates with federal teams, his training providing crucial intelligence about escape protocols. Look at these patterns, Father Michael says, watching Titan work. Your father taught him to predict extraction attempts based on training. Procedures. Sarah understands more of her father's strategy. That's why he spent so much time teaching Titan about aircraft and flight patterns. He knew they'd try using classified transportation. Through secure channels, they monitor Castillo's desperate flight. Target approaching private airstrip. 2 unmarked aircraft on runway. Signatures match known cartel flights. Titan's training kicks in as he activates specialized tracking systems. The dog's police experience proves invaluable as he helps federal teams identify escape vehicles. Multiple agencies coordinating intercept, Cooper updates them. FBI, Border Patrol, Air Force, they're all moving to contain the airfield. As federal teams converge on Sierra Vista Airfield, Titan leads Sarah and Father Michael through the final stages of Miguel Martinez's meticulously planned operation. The German Shepherd's training proves invaluable as he coordinates with law enforcement, using his unique skills to anticipate Castillo's desperate escape attempts. Your father knew they'd try to run, Father Michael says, watching Titan work. With the tactical teams, he trained Titan to recognize their extraction protocols, their escape patterns. Every move they make, the dog knows how to counter. Sarah marvels at the complexity of her father's plan, realizing the depth of his foresight. He didn't just train Titan to find evidence. He trained him to predict their every reaction, to make sure they couldn't escape justice. Through secure channels, they monitor the unfolding operation. Castillo's private jet sits on the runway, engines whining as heavily armed figures load unmarked crates onto the aircraft. Titan's ears prick forward, his posture signaling recognition of the activity. Those crates, Father Michael translates the dog's behavior. Titan knows what they contain. Your father must have trained him to recognize specific shipment patterns. Lieutenant, Cooper's voice crackles over the radio. Airfield is surrounded, all agencies in position. We need confirmation of the cargo before we move in. Titan's training kicks into high gear as he guides a specialized K9 unit toward the aircraft. The dogs work in tandem, their sensitive noses detecting the telltale sense of narcotics and weapons. Confirmed, Cooper relays the information. Cargo matches known smuggling signatures. Titan's evidence is airtight. Sarah watches her father's partner coordinate the final steps of the operation, marveling at the trust and respect the law enforcement teams show the German Shepherd. Titan's training has transformed him into a key player in this high-stakes scenario, his skills honed by countless hours of preparation with Miguel Martinez. As the tactical teams move in, Castillo's desperation becomes evident. The fugitive businessman emerges from the jet, flanked by heavily armed private security. "I am a diplomatic envoy," he shouts, waving official-looking documents. "This is an international incident." But Titan's training accounts for even this deception. The dog signals to Father Michael, who quickly checks Miguel's intelligence files. "False credentials," the former operative confirms. "Your father anticipated they'd try claiming diplomatic immunity." Cooper relays the information to the tactical teams, who swiftly move to neutralize Castillo's security detail. Chaos erupts on the tarmac as the conspirators make a final, desperate attempt to flee. Amid the commotion, Titan's focus never wavers. The German Shepherd positions himself between Sarah and the unfolding confrontation, his protective instincts merging seamlessly with his tactical training. Even in the heat of the moment, Miguel Martinez's partner remains true to his oath, shielding the girl from harm. As the standoff intensifies, Father Michael suddenly notices a new threat, a lone figure breaking away from the main group, circling around the perimeter toward their position. "Titan! Threat at 3 o'clock!" he commands, trusting the dog's training. Titan reacts instantly, placing himself between Sarah and the approaching danger. The figure raises a weapon, aiming directly at the girl. But the German Shepherd is already in motion, a blur of furry launching himself at the assailant with pinpoint precision. Sarah watches in awe as her father's partner takes down the would-be attacker with practiced efficiency, his jaws clamping down on the man's gun arm with exactly the right amount of pressure. The weapon clatters to the ground as Titan subdues the threat, his training evident in every controlled movement. Hold your fire, Cooper commands as the tactical teams rush forward to secure the suspect. Titans got him. In the aftermath of the confrontation, as Castillo and his conspirators are led away in custody, Sarah kneels beside Titan, hugging the dog tightly. "You saved my life," she whispers, tears streaming down her face, "just like you saved Dad so many times." Father Michael watches the scene with a mix of pride and sadness, understanding the depth of the bond between the girl and the German Shepherd. "Your father knew Titan would protect you, no matter what," he says softly. "That's why he made sure Titan would be by your side, even after he was gone." As dawn breaks over Sierra Vista Airfield, the true scope of Miguel Martinez's plan becomes clear. The evidence Titan helped secure will bring down not just Castillo's criminal empire, but a vast network of corruption spanning multiple countries and agencies. The German Shepherd's unwavering dedication and training have ensured that Miguel's final operation will be his most impactful, striking a blow against the very heart of the conspiracy that claimed his life. For Sarah, the events of the past 24 hours have been a revelation, exposing the hidden depths of her father's love and the true nature of his partnership with Titan. As she looks into the dog's intelligent eyes, she sees not just a loyal companion, but a guardian who will always stand watch over her, guided by the training and purpose instilled by Miguel Martinez. The sun rises higher as the airfield teams begin the lengthy process of cataloging evidence and processing suspects. Titan remains by Sarah's side, his presence a constant reminder of Miguel's enduring legacy. Together, the girl and the German Shepherd have become the unexpected heroes of an operation that will reverberate through law enforcement agencies worldwide. A testament to the unbreakable bond between a father, a daughter, and a canine partner, who never forgot his oath to serve and protect. In the aftermath of the Sierra Vista airfield operation, the true extent of Miguel Martinez's plan begins to unfold. As federal agencies pore over the evidence secured by Titan and Sarah, a picture emerges of a corruption network far more intricate and insidious than anyone had imagined. Lieutenant Cooper takes point on the investigation, coordinating with international law enforcement to follow the leads generated by Titan's flawless execution of Miguel's strategy. Each piece of evidence, each intercepted communication adds another layer to the conspiracy, revealing the staggering scope of the criminal enterprise. "It's not just about drugs and weapons," Cooper explains to Sarah and Father Michael as they review the latest intelligence reports. "Your father uncovered a shadow economy, a system of black market deals and illegal contracts that spans continents." Sarah pores over the files, her eyes widening at the names and organizations implicated. Diplomats, politicians, even high-ranking military officials, all connected by a web of bribes, favors, and secret agreements. "Dad knew," she whispers, her voice thick with emotion. "He knew how deep it went." Father Michael nods, his own experience in state intelligence lending weight to the revelation. Miguel always had a gift for seeing patterns, for connecting dots that others missed. It's what made him such an effective investigator. As the scale of the conspiracy comes into focus, so too does the importance of Titan's role in its unraveling. The German Shepherd's training, meticulously designed by Miguel Martinez, has proven instrumental in securing the evidence needed to bring the perpetrators to justice. "Your father didn't just train a K9 partner," Cooper says, watching Titan work. "With the forensic teams, he created the perfect tool for dismantling a global criminal network." In the days that follow, Titan's skills are put to the test as the investigation expands. The dog's ability to detect hidden compartments, concealed documents, and even the faintest traces of contraband becomes legendary among the law enforcement and community. Each new discovery leads to another arrest, another asset seizure, another piece of the puzzle falling into place. For Sarah, watching Titan work is a bittersweet experience. On one hand, she marvels at the dog's incredible abilities, the way he navigates complex environments with unwavering focus and precision. On the other, she can't help but feel a pang of loss, knowing that her father will never see the fruits of his labor, the culmination of his life's work. "He'd be so proud of you," she whispers to Titan one evening as they sit together in the quiet of their living room. "You're doing exactly what he trained you to do, what he always knew you were capable of." Titan's ears prick up at the sound of Sarah's voice, his warm brown eyes meeting hers with an almost human understanding. In that moment, Sarah feels a surge of gratitude for the incredible gift her father left her. Not just a loyal companion, but a living embodiment of his love and dedication. As the investigation progresses, the true nature of Miguel Martinez's sacrifice becomes clear. The detective had known the risks, had understood the price he might pay for unmasking the corruption that festered at the heart of the system he'd sworn to protect. And yet, he had never wavered, never faltered in his pursuit of justice. "Your father was a hero," Father Michael tells Sarah one afternoon as they watch Titan demonstrate his skills for a group of awestruck federal agents. Not just because of how he died, but because of how he lived. He dedicated himself to making the world a better place, to shining a light into the darkest corners of human nature. Sarah nods, blinking back tears as she watches Titan work. "And he made sure that light would never go out," she says softly. "He made sure that Titan would be there to carry on his work, to keep fighting the good fight." In the end, that is perhaps Miguel Martinez's greatest legacy, not just the criminal empire he helped to topple, or the lives he saved through his tireless pursuit of the truth, but the enduring spirit of justice that he instilled in those he left behind. For Titan, that spirit manifests in an unwavering commitment to the mission, a fierce loyalty to the cause that transcends any personal bond or individual handler. The German Shepherd's training has become more than just a set of skills and commands. It has become a way of life, a higher calling that drives him forward with singular purpose. And for Sarah, that spirit takes the form of a renewed dedication to her father's memory, a determination to carry on his work in whatever way she can. Whether it's through her studies, her community outreach, or simply her steadfast support of Titan and the law enforcement teams he assists, Sarah knows that she has a role to play in the ongoing fight against injustice. As the investigation reaches its crescendo, with arrests made and assets seized across the globe, Sarah and Titan find themselves at the center of a media maelstrom. Reporters clamor for interviews, photographers jostle for the perfect shot of the girl and her K-9 companion who helped bring down an international criminal syndicate. Through it all, Titan remains a steady presence at Sarah's side, his calm demeanor and unwavering focus a source of strength and comfort. And as the dust begins to settle, as the world begins to reckon with the magnitude of what has been accomplished, Sarah knows that her father's legacy will endure, carried forward by the unbreakable bond between a girl and her dog and the tireless pursuit of justice that unites them. In the months following the takedown of the international criminal syndicate, Sarah and Titan find themselves navigating a new landscape, one in which their roles as unlikely heroes have thrust them into the spotlight. Media attention, public recognition, and the weight of expectations all come to bear as the pair adjusts to life in the aftermath of Miguel Martinez's grand plan. For Sarah, the transition is bittersweet. On one hand, she takes immense pride in her father's legacy, in the knowledge that his tireless work and ultimate sacrifice have resulted in a safer, more just world. On the other, she grapples with the void left by his absence, the realization that no amount of accolades or public praise can fill the space that Miguel once occupied in her life. Titan, too, undergoes a period of adjustment. The German Shepherd's training, so integral to the success of the operation, must now adapt to a new reality, one in which his role is less clearly defined. No longer solely a tool of law enforcement, Titan becomes a symbol of hope and resilience, a living embodiment of the unbreakable bond between human and canine. As Sarah and Titan navigate this new terrain, they find strength in the support of those around them. Lieutenant Cooper, now hailed as a hero in his own right, becomes a mentor to Sarah, guiding her through the intricacies of the legal system. As the case against the criminal syndicate winds its way through the courts, Father Michael, his own role in the operation having come to light, serves as a spiritual advisor, offering wisdom and comfort in equal measure. And then there is the wider law enforcement community, the countless officers and agents who have come to view Titan as one of their own. The German Shepherd becomes a regular fixture at training sessions and seminars, his presence serving as a reminder of the power of unconventional thinking and the importance of forging deep, trusting relationships between handlers and their canine partners. For Sarah, watching Titan work with these men and women is a source of both pride and inspiration. She sees in them the same dedication, the same selfless commitment to justice that drove her father, and she knows that his legacy will live on through their efforts. As the legal proceedings unfold, Sarah and Titan find themselves called upon to testify, to share their experiences and insights with the world. For Sarah, the prospect is daunting, the thought of reliving those harrowing days and nights almost too much to bear. But with Titan by her side, she finds the strength to face the courtroom, to tell her story with the same unflinching honesty that defined her father's life. And as she speaks, as she recounts the incredible journey that she and Titan have shared, Sarah begins to understand the true scope of her father's vision. Miguel Martinez had not just trained a canine partner or orchestrated a single brilliant operation. He had set in motion a chain of events that would continue to ripple outward, touching lives and shaping destinies for years to come. In the end, the trial serves as a reminder of the enduring power of one man's conviction and the incredible impact that a single dedicated individual can have on the world. As the guilty verdicts are read out, as the members of the criminal syndicate are led away in shackles, Sarah feels a sense of closure, a recognition that her father's work has been completed, his mission fulfilled. But even as one chapter closes, another begins. For Sarah and Titan, the future holds new challenges, new opportunities to make a difference in the world. Whether it's through Sarah's budding career in law enforcement or Titan's continued work as a canine ambassador, the pair knows that their journey is far from over. In the years that follow, Sarah and Titan become a fixture in their community, a symbol of resilience and hope in the face of adversity. They visit schools and community centers, sharing their story and inspiring others to stand up for what is right. They work with law enforcement agencies across the country, promoting innovative approaches to training and collaboration between human and canine partners. And through it all, they carry with them the memory of Miguel Martinez, the man who set them on this path, who saw in them the potential for greatness and the capacity for change. They honor his legacy not just through their words and deeds, but through the unbreakable bond that they share, the love and loyalty that has seen them through the darkest of times. As Sarah looks to the future, she knows that there will be challenges ahead, obstacles to overcome and battles to be fought. But with Titan by her side, she feels an unshakable sense of purpose, a deep conviction that together they can face whatever comes their way. For theirs is a partnership forged in the crucible of adversity, tempered by the fires of sacrifice. and devotion. It is a bond that cannot be broken, a connection that transcends the boundaries of species and circumstance. And it is a testament to the enduring power of love, to the idea that even in the darkest of times, hope and justice will always find a way to prevail. As the sun sets on another day, Sarah and Titan stand together, their silhouettes cast in the fading light. They are a symbol of all that is good and right in the world, a reminder that the fight for justice is never truly over. And as they look out over the horizon, they know that whatever challenges lie ahead, they will face them together, united by the unbreakable bond that has brought them to this moment and the enduring legacy of the man who made it all possible. 5 years have passed since the fateful events that reshaped Sarah Martinez's life and catapulted her and Titan into the national spotlight. In that time, the pair has become an enduring symbol of resilience, hope, and the unbreakable bond between human and canine partners. For Sarah, the journey has been one of growth and self-discovery. Inspired by her father's legacy and driven by a deep-seated desire to make a difference, she has pursued a career in law enforcement, following in Miguel's footsteps as a detective with the Pine Valley Police Department. It hasn't been an easy path. The physical and mental demands of the job, coupled with the weight of expectations that come with being Miguel Martinez's daughter, have tested Sarah in ways she never could have imagined. But through it all, she has remained steadfast, drawing strength from the memories of her father and the unwavering support of Titan. The German Shepherd, now in his golden years, has transitioned from active duty to a new role as a trainer and mentor to the department's K9 unit. His experience and uncanny ability to read both human and canine behavior have made him an invaluable asset, and his presence is a constant reminder of the legacy that he and Miguel leave behind. On a crisp autumn morning, Sarah and Titan arrive at the police department, ready to begin another day of service. As they walk through the halls, Sarah can't help but reflect on how far they've come and how much her life has changed since that fateful day 5 years ago. She remembers the fear and uncertainty, the sense of helplessness as she watched her world unravel around her. But she also remembers the moments of courage and determination, the times when she and Titan stood together against seemingly insurmountable odds. As Sarah settles into her desk, a knock at the door interrupts her thoughts. It's Lieutenant Cooper, his face etched with a mixture of excitement and concern. "Sarah," he says, his voice urgent, "we've got a situation, a high-profile kidnapping case, multiple victims. The chief wants us on it." Sarah feels a familiar surge of adrenaline, the same rush of energy that has fueled her through countless cases over the years. She glances at Titan, sees the old dog's ears prick up at the mention of a new challenge. "We're on it," she says, grabbing her gear and heading for the door. "Let's go, partner." As they race to the scene, Sarah can't shake the feeling that this case is somehow different, that the stakes are higher than anything they've faced before. The details are still sketchy, but from what Cooper has told her, the kidnapping appears to be the work of a highly organized, well-funded group with ties to international terrorism. When they arrive at the scene, a sprawling estate on the outskirts of town, Sarah is struck by the scale of the operation. Federal agents swarm the property, and the air is thick with the tension of a crisis unfolding in real time. As Sarah and Titan make their way inside, they're met by a wall of chaos. Family members of the victims are gathered in the living room, their faces etched with fear and desperation. Agents and officers from a half-dozen different agencies crowd the space, each working their own angle, chasing down leads and gathering intelligence. In the midst of it all, Sarah feels a sense of calm descend over her. This is what she's trained for what she and Titan have spent countless hours preparing for. With a nod to her partner, she wades into the fray, determined to bring order to the chaos and to find the missing people before it's too late. As the investigation unfolds, Sarah and Titan work tirelessly, piecing together a complex web of clues and leads. They interview witnesses, analyze evidence, and follow up on tips, all the while racing against the clock as the kidnappers' demands grow more urgent and their threats more dire. Through it all, Sarah leans on the skills and instincts that she's honed over the years, the same qualities that made her father such an exceptional detective. She trusts her gut, follows her hunches, and refuses to give up, even when the odds seem insurmountable. And then, just when all hope seems lost, a breakthrough, a tip from an unlikely source, a hidden connection that everyone else missed. Sarah and Titan spring into action, leading a SWAT team to a remote location where they believe the victims are being held. The rescue operation is a thing of beauty, a testament to the power of human and canine courage in the face of unimaginable danger. Sarah and Titan are at the forefront, charging into the breach, their years of training and experience guiding them as they navigate the treacherous terrain. In the end, they emerge victorious, the victims safe and the kidnappers in custody. As the dust settles, Sarah feels a rush of pride and gratitude, not just for herself and Titan, but for her father and all the men and women who have dedicated their lives to the service of others. In the days that follow, as the media descends on Pine Valley and the story of the daring rescue makes headlines around the world, Sarah finds herself once again in the spotlight, hailed as a hero for her bravery and dedication. But for Sarah, the true heroes are the ones who never seek the limelight, the ones who toil in obscurity, day in and day out, driven by a sense of duty and a commitment to justice. People like her father, like Lieutenant Cooper, like the countless men and women who wear the badge and put their lives on the line every day. As she sits with Titan on the porch of her childhood home, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Sarah knows that her journey is far from over. There will be more cases to solve, more dangers to confront, more obstacles to overcome. But she also knows that she's not alone, that she has the strength and the support of those around her, and the enduring legacy of her father to guide her. And with Titan by her side, she knows that there's nothing they can't handle, no challenge they can't overcome. For theirs is a bond that has been forged in the fires of adversity, a partnership that has withstood the test of time and the trials of fate. And as long as they have each other, Sarah knows that they will always find a way to prevail, to bring light to the darkness and hope to those who need it most. As the years pass, Sarah and Titan's legend only grows. Their exploits become the stuff of precinct lore, tales of courage and determination passed down from one generation of officers to the next. But for Sarah, the true legacy of her father and her partnership with Titan is measured not in accolades or headlines, but in the lives they touch and the difference they make. One crisp fall morning, Sarah finds herself standing at the front of a packed auditorium, the sea of faces before her, a testament to the impact she and Titan have had. It's a graduation ceremony for the department's newest class of K-9 officers, and Sarah has been asked to deliver the keynote address. As she takes the podium, Sarah feels a rush of emotion, a sense of pride and purpose that threatens to overwhelm her. She looks out at the audience, sees the eager faces of the young officers and their K-9 partners, and knows that this is where she's meant to be. Today, she begins, her voice steady and clear, we honor the bond between human and dog, the partnership that lies at the heart of everything we do as K-9 officers. It's a bond that goes beyond simple training or obedience. It's a connection that's forged in the heat of the moment, when the stakes are highest and the dangers are most real. Sarah pauses, her gaze drifting to where Titan sits at the edge of the stage, his graying muzzle and wise eyes, a testament to the years they've shared. "I know this bond firsthand," she continues. "I've seen the power of it, the way it can transform lives and shape destinies. And I've seen the sacrifices that come with it, the risks and the challenges that we face every day." She talks about her father, about the legacy he left behind and the lessons he taught her. She talks about the cases she and Titan have worked, the lives they've saved, and the criminals they've brought to justice. And she talks about the future, about the responsibility that each of these new officers now bears. "You are the guardians of the innocent," she tells them, her voice ringing with conviction. "The protectors of the weak and the vulnerable. You have been given a great gift, and with it comes a great duty, to serve, to defend, and to never, ever give up." As Sarah steps back from the podium to a thunderous ovation, she feels a sense of fulfillment wash over her. This is the moment she's been working towards all these years, the chance to pass on the lessons she's learned and the values she holds dear. In the days and weeks that follow, Sarah and Titan continue their work, taking on new cases and new challenges with the same unwavering dedication they've always shown. But now, there's a new dimension to their partnership, a sense of responsibility that goes beyond their own careers. They become mentors to the next generation of K9 officers, sharing their knowledge and experience with the eager young recruits who look to them for guidance. They work with community groups and schools, teaching children about safety and responsibility, and inspiring them to dream big and aim high. And through it all, they remain the closest of friends, the most steadfast of partners. Even as Titan's muzzle grows grayer and his steps begin to slow, his spirit remains as strong as ever, his bond with Sarah unbreakable. One evening, as they sit together on the porch of Sarah's home, watching the sun sink behind the mountains, Sarah finds herself reflecting on all that they've been through together, the triumphs and the tragedies, the laughter and the tears. "You know," she says softly, scratching Titan behind the ears, "I used to wonder what my life would have been like if Dad hadn't died, if you hadn't come into my world. But now, I realize that everything happens for a reason, that this was the path I was meant to walk, the destiny I was meant to fulfill." Titan looks up at her, his eyes shining with the wisdom of a lifetime spent in service, and in that moment Sarah knows that she wouldn't trade a single day of their journey together, not for all the riches in the world, for theirs is a bond that has been forged in the crucible of hardship, tempered by the fires of sacrifice and love. It's a bond that has brought light to the darkness, hope to the hopeless, and justice to those who had long been denied it. And as the years stretch out before them, Sarah knows that their work is far from finished. There will always be new challenges to face, new threats to confront, new lives to save. But with Titan by her side, she feels ready for whatever the future may hold, for they are more than just partners, more than just friends. They are a symbol of the enduring power of the human spirit, a testament to the unbreakable bonds that unite us all. And as the sun dips below the horizon and the stars begin to glimmer in the sky above, Sarah and Titan sit in contented silence, knowing that they have each other and that together they can face whatever tomorrow may bring. In the end, their story is one of hope and healing, of the triumphs that can be born from the ashes of tragedy. It's a reminder that even in our darkest hours, there is always a light to guide us home, always a hand to hold and a heart to heal. And it's a promise, a vow that no matter how long the night may be, the dawn will always come, and with it, the chance to begin anew, to build a better world for ourselves and for all those who follow in our footsteps. This is the legacy of Sarah Martinez and her beloved partner, Titan. A legacy of courage and compassion, of sacrifice and service. A legacy that will endure long after they are gone, inspiring generations yet to come. For in the end, it's not the medals or the accolades that matter, but the lives they've touched and the difference they've made. And in that, Sarah and Titan have achieved a kind of immortality, a place in the hearts and minds of all those who have been blessed to know them. As the night deepens and the world grows still, Sarah and Titan sit in peaceful repose, their hearts full and their spirits content. They have given their all, and in doing so, they have found a kind of redemption, a sense of purpose that will guide them all the days of their lives. And though the road ahead may be long and the challenges many, they know that they will face them together, side by side, as they always have. For they are more than just a girl and her dog, more than just partners or friends. They are a testament to the enduring power of love, a shining example of all that is good and right in this world. And as long as there are those who believe in that power, who hold fast to that ideal, then there will always be hope, always be a chance for a better tomorrow. So let their story be a beacon, a guiding light for all those who strive to make a difference. Let it be a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable odds, there is always a way forward, always a path to redemption. And let it be a celebration of the unbreakable bonds that unite us, the ties that bind us together in this grand and wondrous tapestry of life. For in the end, that is the true magic of Sarah and Titan's tale. Not the cases they've cracked or the criminals they've brought to justice, but the love they've shared and the lives they've touched. The way they've shown us that even in our darkest hours, there is always a light to guide us home. And so, as the stars wheel overhead and the world slumbers on, let us hold fast to that light, to that promise of hope and healing. Let us remember the story of a girl and her dog, and the love that lifted them up and made them whole. For in that story, in that love, lies the very essence of what it means to be alive, to be human. And as long as we hold fast to that essence, as long as we strive to live up to the example that Sarah and Titan have set, then there is nothing we cannot achieve, no dream too big, no challenge too great. So let us go forth then into this brave new world, armed with the courage and compassion that they have taught us. Let us take up their mantle and carry on their work, building a better tomorrow for ourselves and for all those who will come after. And let us never forget the story of Sarah Martinez and her beloved partner, Titan. The girl and her dog who showed us the way, who taught us that love is stronger than fear, that hope is more powerful than despair, for in the end, that is their true legacy. And it is one that will endure, now and forever, a shining beacon of light in a world that all too often seems shrouded in darkness. Dear listeners, if you've been captivated by the tale of Sarah and Titan, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more inspiring stories. Your subscription supports the creation of uplifting content that touches hearts and minds. Join our community of passionate listeners and never miss a future story. Together, we can keep the legacy of courage and resilience alive. Hit that subscribe button and embark on more incredible journeys with us. Thank you for your support.